About creativity. First off, let me start by introducing myself to you all. I'm Saffron. I'm a practicing designer and I also study interactive design at London College of Communications. What I'm going to talk about is creativity and why I think humans are so important in that process. And I also want to talk about how artificial intelligence can help us, even though I don't think they are ever going to be as creative as us. When we think about a creative process, my personal creative process is having an idea, experimenting with the idea, and a human's ability to take the idea and turn it into something better than it was already. And when you don't do that, for example, myself, when I first started out, I'd have this amazing idea, and I would hate experimenting. I just thought, if I have an idea, I can make it work. But without experimenting, we can never develop our ideas further. And something special that I wanted to bring to you guys is this third creative process, which I think really sets us apart from artificial intelligence. And it's our ability to be inspired, and it's our ability to think, okay, wow, like I've never had this idea before. And when we are studying interactive design, we usually have to think about how people are going to interact with our products. And I want to use my first project, which is for the Science Museum. And this project is looking at how hard it will be for people to perform everyday tasks using space equipment. So these are space gloves, and you have to perform different tasks, screwing bolts and nuts together and tying knots. But the creative process that I went through is what I think is important for us to look at, and what I think is fundamentally a human characteristic. And it's about having an idea and being able to test that idea. And artificial intelligence can generate as many ideas as it wants to, but it can't test those ideas and develop something brand new because it's made of coding and algorithms. And that is not something I want to get into right now because it's just too long to explain. But that's a human thing. We have experiences with each other. If I met one of you guys and I was doing my project, I'll talk about the gloves that I designed. It's about, okay, how are we going to use them? How do I feel when I'm using my hands to screw a nut and bolt together? How does it feel when I'm using space equipment to tie a nut and bolt together? We have an understanding of each other because of our experiences in the world. And a famous philosopher called Dreyfus actually spoke about this. And he said, in order to understand the world, we have to be in the world. And what he meant by that was that we have to embody our experiences and we have to understand the behaviors and our responses to those behaviors. And that's something that is a human characteristic. So when I started creating the gloves, I thought about our movement, I thought about how we will feel, how people will feel when they use my product. Well, not product, I should say project. And when we did our first exhibition, which was a prototype just to test it out, we found, this was the glove that I made, and we found that people really did find it hard to use, and they told us all about their experiences, and from that we were able to develop it further, and that's something that we can do because we have a relationship and understanding of each other. And this project really shows how human creativity is so important to the design industry. My next project, I curated a space for Adidas at Street Fest. And this project is quite different, and it's something I think artificial intelligence will be able to help us with. It will leave us more room to be creative. When I started the process, it was this huge space. We were given one room in that space. And from that, we had to, it was a listed building, so we had to take ideas and plan and measure. But the most important part of that for me was the creative part, building the interaction, building the activations, and finding out how people are going to enjoy that space the most. And if we had artificial intelligence, cutting the vinyls, measuring the floor spaces, getting the floor plans ready wouldn't have had to be my responsibility. We could leave those, I guess you could call them mundane tasks, to artificial intelligence, who can and will be able to do it better than us, quicker than us, and it will be more time effective for designers. I find that I don't have enough time to be as creative as I want to be. I need to speed up my process because I have something to finish. And this was a space before we started. This was a space on the day, and it was an amazing experience. But I definitely think in the future, if we had artificial intelligence as part of the creative process, not owning it, just being a part of it, I think we could definitely create a partnership. And I speak only from an interactive design point of view, because graphic design, illustration is something completely different. We have something called the grid, which can just create a website for you. There's no need for a human to be involved in that process. So they may feel that their jobs are going to be taken away from them. But with interactive design, there always needs to be a human involved in that process. And I think that we can develop something that will work for both of us, because we can't stop it from happening. We need to find a way that benefits all of us. And I definitely think that humans will rule the creative role in the design industry. Thank you, guys.